I think it's going to be very different. I think one of the things that's probably happening right now is that people who have reinvented, by accident at least, the scientific method, that is, people who know how to set up theories and set up experiments on the basis of theories, they have a strong advantage right now because our society is overloaded with scientism and essentially fake science, but it's fake science with the Harvard degree attached to it, so you can't call it fake. There's like, I think it's pretty much damning, for example, the use of statistics in medicine, right? Or the recent replication crisis. We are, as a society, cargo culting formal methods on a truly massive scale because we demanded that there be a massive expansion of scientists after the Sputnik moment, right? The launch of Sputnik in the 1950s. And, much as the Soviet shoe manufacturer that is given insufficient leather by the central planned economy, but told to make 20,000 pairs of shoes, they make tiny, tiny shoes that are useless because on paper, they fill the quota. I think we've made tiny, tiny PhDs to fill the quota that allows us to claim that we're a thriving scientific society, right? So I think real science, when you can do it, very powerful, very important, done by very few people. The second thing is capitalism, actually doing capitalism, super rare, very important. This is kind of like Peter Thiel writes a lot about this. I think he's completely right. I also think doing Marxism for real, actually, no one's really done societal analysis plus trying to organize political parties that have as their key objective building new states. Like, when's the last political party you remember that's dedicated to like creating a new socioeconomic order? People were so invested in the Bolsheviks because the Bolsheviks were the equivalent of like a high IQ cult when they were founded, right? That's why it was so enticing. Not only do you get to hang out with your friends and read the same books your friends have been reading, you get to participate in the betterment of all of society. And that was super appealing to people who are sometimes already very well off, were not themselves proletariat. And again, like, I don't think the Bolshevik Revolution made the world better, though I certainly think Vladimir Lenin is like clearly a great founder type character because he invented the party, the political revolutionary party and the party state. And today we see in China like a live descendant of that model. So I do think that's a big change to society. So another one is the ability to read, by which I mean the ability to read things slowly and read things between the lines and try to extract deep meaning from text. And even at the best of times, I think this level of literacy was never reached by more than 5% of the population. But I think in the last 40 to 50 years, something has happened where even the 5% is like vastly too many. I think right now it's like maybe like 0.5% or 1%. It might have been the rise of visual culture, right? That might have been the reason. Or it might have been the attention scrambling effects of massively, drugging up most of the population and, use of the internet. I don't really know. I do know for a fact that people had higher reading comprehension. And because people now have lower reading comprehension, the writing has gotten worse. Compare a scientific paper in the most complex field you can find from 1925 to a modern scientific paper in the most trivial field you can find. The 1925 paper will be more intelligible and understandable because it's written for a person, right? The modern scientific paper is usually written for a committee. So it's trying to be defensive. It's trying to be small. It's not trying to convey. It's not expecting that there's a mind on the other end that's doing it. It's expecting to be evaluated as homework. The difference between homework and research on a deep, deep level is unclear, right? So I don't mean to be picking on academia. Obviously, I think there's great work that sometimes happens in corners of academia, but I'm trying to convey that there's something deeply wrong with the way we read, and it's very difficult to convey. So maybe that's intellectual dark matter, reading, but for real. Because believe me, if you read books for real and you act on them, you get very weird very quickly. I hope that was a good answer to your question.